Huzzah! Okay, the vote is in, and people are saying we should let them strike. 66% of the vote to 34, so we're going to let them strike. Now, how is that light? It's pretty bright, but hey, that's fine. Keep that in place. I think it's about there. Okay. Okay, thank you very much for the Prime resubscription, coming in with a 22-month resub. You're just 2 months away from getting those orange wings. Thank you very much for the ongoing support. And Silas wants me to drink some tea. Cheers. I know, votes are for everyone. Okay, onwards. Per Albin Hansson criticises our crisis response. Per Albin Hansson, leader of Sveriges Socialdemokratiska Arbeidsparti, or the SAP, was widely considered to be the foremost leader of the opposition, has sharply condemned Bagge's cabinet's response to the ongoing economic upheaval, calling their faith in non-intervention dangerous and damaging to Sweden. He once again called out in favour of his own Folkhemmet programme that he claims will actually protect those who have lost their jobs in the crisis originating in Germany. Social democracy goes up, social conservatism goes down. And we're out of power again. Keep calling it power because that's what it is in Old World Blues. Failed coup in Beijing. Details are unclear, but following a presumed coup attempt in the Forbidden City this morning, Wu Waifu emerged, arm in a sling but otherwise standing tall. Walking down the stairs, he stopped for a few words with reporters who rushed to the scene, as Pu Yi, bound and guarded by a group of soldiers, shuffled out. Cao Kun, the democratically elected leader of China, and I were savagely attacked by the Emperor's thugs, no doubt supported by the Kaiser. He began, staring directly into the camera bulbs flashing in his face. It is clear they wish to undo the progress we have made, and after their betrayal today, the Assembly has declared them traitors. China will be a republic once more, free from foreign domination. Ruh-roh. Yeah, it doesn't look like Nanjing's doing particularly well either. And now instead of Qing China, we have the Zhili clique. Rising SSV membership. And there goes Nanjing. Came out ahead. Ooh, that's a very equal divide. Although the opposition is clearly led by the SAP, two smaller socialist parties are active as well. The Sveriges Socialdemokratiska Vänsterparti, the SSV, which would identify as radical socialists who are strongly in favour of the cause of the so-called Third International, and the Vänsterpartiet Totalisterna, or the VPT, which partakes this year for the first time in Swedish elections. Especially the former party is seeing sharp increase in its membership over the years, as the Social Democratic failure to dethrone the perpetual Conservative government causes radicalisation amongst his ranks. Left Kuomintang declared Ryan Ching. Address the peoples, please. Now we can reassure big business and be ready for the elections. And this is going to allow us to get the civilian construction speed in 35 days. So we may well want to do that in Svealand, like so. Karin Boy releases for Lit. Karin Boy, a prominent author, poet and female rights activist coloured by socialism, has just released her latest piece. It is a novel called For Lit, too little or for little, or for little. It centres around the themes of working to achieve your dreams to make your ends meet, and your responsibility to yourself as a person and to your family and friends. Boy is very popular and her new novel is a success. I'll have to read it sometime. Where's the blue cup? Still hidden away in customs somewhere. Although, I now have tracked 5 of my 6 missing boxes. I think I'll be able to get those tomorrow. I think. Which includes my PC, but not my monitor. That monitor is still off in the ether somewhere. Which is annoying, because my old monitor has finally given up the ghost. Otherwise it would be plugged into the laptop right now. The Shandong clique declared war on the Anqing clique. They lost one box. Apparently, which is annoying, because it's also probably the most expensive item. Which is probably why they lost it. Concentrated industry. Let's do it. Arvid Lindman supports the Bag cabinet. Longtime Prime Minister and former leader of the Allmanna Valmansforbundet, or the AV General Electoral League, Arvid Lindman has publicly spoken out in favour of the government, declaring his utmost faith in Bag and rallying voters to support the party he used to lead in the polls. Lindman has ruled Sweden from 1906 to 1911. And then ruled continuously from 1924 until his retirement in 1934. Many consider his charismatic personality the foremost reason that the Conservatives did not lose direct control to the Social Democrats like in Denmark. Many doubt whether Bag will similarly be able to conserve the General Electoral League's dominance in Swedish politics, and many view the elections of 1936, the first elections with Bag as the Conservative leader, as influential in determining this. Thank you, old friend. And there we go. Big business has been reassured. We are now ready to do the elections. So we may as well work on some of this stuff. 27 days until construction 1, which means that this will come in after that. So let's get the Royal Institute of Technology. The KTH is the Technical University of Stockholm, established in 1827. By supporting them, we can increase our yield in the research departments and secure ourselves an edge in this sector. Also change government, though we can't do that. Oh, we're actually kind of close to being able to do partial mobilization if we wish to. Otherwise it would be an advisor. Although we probably want to wait until our new government before going for an advisor. The other thing we could do is one of the laws. SAP refuses to rule out cooperation with the radicals. Shocking news as Hanson refuses to rule out a formation of a coalition with the SSV if the outcome would be so that it would be the most democratic to do so. The SSV's open desire to end Swedish system is in its favour of a socialist form of government like in France and Britain, though with Swedish characteristics as outlined in their party programme. Causes the utmost concern amongst those in the right wing. So radical socialism goes up, stability goes down. Our stability is garbage. Coup d'etat in Siam. News emerged from Bangkok today that a group of officers and intelligentsia calling themselves the Khana Arastodon, or the People's Party, had successfully seized control of the government. Key government officials are under arrest and the king and his heir are said to be safe and well looked after by the new government. A statement was issued by the new Prime Minister announcing that this was not a military coup but rather a peaceful transfer of power, while a constitution is put into place. These two will be finished very soon. Manuel Carles assumes full control in Argentina. When Manuel Carles executed a coup against the Argentinian state on Christmas 1935, the nation was torn apart in a vicious struggle for control over the presidency. LP and forces from the Argentinian navy quickly took control of the capital, but were stopped by forces of the army, who quickly asserted their dominance over the entire nation. The fall of the Kingdom of Finland. Founded in the ashes of the Russian Empire, the Kingdom of Finland has remained since the end of the Great War a nation thoroughly entrenched in the German sphere. It appears now, though this was not meant to last. In the wake of Black Monday, the Finnish government was thrown into chaos as the political violence spiralled out of control. Unable to maintain order, the regime finally collapsed. The ultra-nationalist Lapua movement under Kurt Martini Valinius, now leader of the Republic of Finland, marched on Helsinki, seizing power and unleashing a wave of violence against the monarchists and socialists alike. Authoritarian, corporatist, and virulently anti-German, the movement no doubt represents a violent break with the old order. As a result of the news that the Social Democrats are open to cooperation with outright radicals, the General Electoral League has started a propaganda war. They openly target the SAP voters, claim the SAP supports the Third Internationale, and that any vote for them would directly correlate with a vote for the syndicalist regime in France. Despite a sharp SAP rebuke of this rhetoric, and while few actual SAP voters will be swayed by it, it does seem to have successfully played on the emotions of the liberal Volkspartiet voters to the League, who start to consider the SAP as a very real danger to their fortunes. They start to see the AV as a much more capable faction stand up against the SAP's wicked plans and the Volkspartiet. So social democracy goes down, social conservatism goes up. And there's the construction tech. So we're now going to lock this one in, even though it's ahead of time. Which will then allow me to lock this in and get the 100% bonus for the 1939 version. Which is good. Poland falls to syndicalism. After the complete collapse of the Polish government following the Black Monday disaster, Poland found itself in complete anarchy, with many different political factions vying for power in the vacuum of the Old Kingdom. This fighting has come to a close today as syndicalist forces claim victory, announcing their complete control of the country from the chambers of the defunct Regency Council. The international community has reacted with shock as the formerly conservative government of the kingdom has been replaced by a radical syndicalist government seemingly overnight. Time will tell how this bodes for Europe. Not well for Poland. I assume you can reverse the Kalmar Union and join peacefully with the Norwegians and the Danes. You can, if Norway doesn't flip communist. Union Sindicalista achieves Italian majority. The 5th Congress of the Socialist Republic of Italy has ended with the Union Sindicalista, led by Palmieri Togliatti, continuing his mandate by achieving a majority of seats in the government. The Union Sindicalista have held control in the Republic since the end of the Weltkrieg, and this continuation of their regime signals a likely solidification of their alliance with the Commune of France. Debate over military expenses. Here we go. As the election approaches and Gosterbag and his minister have to consider the very real possibility of a potential defeat, the government has scheduled a debate to approve at least the Swedish budget of 1936 with the current Riksdag. The Bag cabinet seeks to maintain the heavy investments in the military, in which the Social Democratic opposition is heavily opposed, claiming that there is no direct threat to Sweden at this time and the money would be better spent elsewhere to make the lives of Swedes better. The Conservatives try to counter this by arguing that the global tensions are rising and worrisome events in Norway and Finland could directly threaten Sweden in the future. The government holds a majority in the Riksdag, so the budget will definitely pass, but the prevailing argument could bring the party that brings it closer to the electoral victory in the upcoming elections. Experts agree that the opposition completely trashed the budget proposal, the Conservatives capably defended their budget, or the Volkspartiet saved Bag from a disgrace, which we can do? Yeah, I think so. Right, let's set up a poll. New poll. So we've got completely trash proposal. We've got capable defense. And we've got Bag saved. So it's basically completely trashed is the pro-social democratic, capable defense is the pro-social conservative, and the Bag saved is the pro-Volkspartiet, which I thought previously was national populist, but I think it's actually market liberal. Yes, it is. So the market liberal is the Volkspartiet. Partiet, I think. Right. Get your votes in. Get your votes in. Vote, vote, vote. What is our military budget? Are we trashing it? Are we defending it? Or are we having the Volkspartiet coming in to save it? What do the Swedes call a wardrobe where they keep their luggage? A bag cabinet. I always find it funny when Mordred tries to speak Scandinavian of any kind. I'm learning, it's getting better. Anything funnier is him trying Polish. You're not wrong. Slavic words I struggle with. French words I really struggle with. Germanic stuff is usually alright. Okay, Namtakor contributed 11,000 channel points. Thank you very much for that, Namtakor. And this was a somewhat close vote. So the Social Conservatives capably defending this was not true. They only came in with 11% of the vote. Completely trashing it by the Social Democrats came in second with 39%. However, Bag was saved by the Volkspartiet with 50%. So the Volkspartiet saved Bag from disgrace. So Market Liberals goes up, Social Conservatives goes up, Social Democrats goes down significantly. Vibundsongkram's coup d'etat. The recent Siamese revolution, while outwardly successful, is seen as popularity plummet. Taking advantage of the controversial yellow cover dossier, the nickname for a proposed plan to overhaul the nation's economic systems and nationalise many industries, a Red Scare was whipped up. Chief of the Army, Luang Phibontsongkram, intervened just in time, declared martial law nationwide, widely believed to have dragged the nation back from the brink of civil war. These finished yet? No. There's the Royal Institute of Industry. We still haven't had the election. So I think now is probably the time to fund the Statens. Jan Vegar. Jan Vegar. There you go. I know that one because the A is more like an AE. Jan Vegar. The cold, large expanse of Scandinavia has a very clear infrastructure problem, especially as you go further north. The Statens Jan Vegar is a long-standing government-owned railway company where we can fund to help our infrastructure. Begin. Fund Jalvi vegan. How are we doing for fuel? It's just shocking how little of it we gain. 48. Just about enough to keep 12 planes in the sky. Germany staged a declared run into China, the Dublin Olympics. The 11th Olympic Games were recently held in Dublin, Ireland, showcasing the capital of the young republic. The Games have proven a large source of pride for her. Once again, British and French delegates have been absent, the syndicalist powers unrecognised by the International Olympic Committee and the exiled government lacking men to send. German and American athletes have seen the most success, closely tied with 27 and 26 medals, while the Irish athletes have performed above average, winning 9. After the Weltkrieg, Germany seized French Indochina, but stability wasn't restored until Germany crushed the South China revolutionaries in 1926. Now Indochinese nationalists and leftists under a coalition government called the Viet Minh have risen up against the colonial regime. After quoting the French Declaration of the Rights of Man and the American Declaration of Independence, Nguyen An Ninh, the head of the Viet Minh, condemned the brutal German oppression of the free people and affirmed the Indochinese nation's right to independence. Zveno coup in Bulgaria. The Tsardom of Bulgaria, one of Germany's allies in the Weltkrieg, is seen as a stable hegemon in the Balkans for the past 2 decades. In truth, however, the nation is withdrawn to internal affairs, going from political crisis to political crisis. Also, Germany just declared war on Poland. You know, just a little side note. Revolutionaries take Mongolia. Much like Tibet, news from the Mongolian capital Urga is sparse. For many years, the status quo of the nation has been the leadership of the Russian Baron Roman von Ungern Sternberg. However, recently news came out After a revolt to the west of the nation, the revolutionary Mongol Ardin Nam overthrew Ungarn Sternberg while his army fought in the west. The Mad Baron's rules are at an end. Crisis situation improves. The unemployment level has fallen below 24%. As a result, the Swedish economy is starting to show the first signs of recovery as more people work and start spending their salaries again. Although the worst is over, we remain far from pre-crisis levels. So we are going to start another welfare program. And we're also going to subsidise the raw resource export. And we still have a little bit of money left over, just in case. Unemployment's dropped from 25% to 16%. Not too bad. Creation of the International Avant-Garde. A combined effort by the Commonwealth of France and the Union of Britain a few days ago has birthed the International Avant-Garde, a programme that aims to create a unified art style for art and a genre for music, as well as new literary techniques. Each of them encouraged to be socialist, unorthodox, anti-traditionalist and anti-religious. Now, oh yeah, the LKAB is really good. I think we probably do want to try to save for you. We could go for a political advisor. No, we're going to wait until the election for that. I think I'm just going to save political power until we have the election, which should be September. Oh, soon. The unemployment level has now fallen below 16%. Many people who were previously stuck at home are finding jobs again, and the situation looks a lot better already compared to earlier. While the effects of the crisis can still be felt, a full recovery seems closer than ever. So Black Monday is getting better and better. Jabal Shammar declared war on Najd and Horsa. Lefko and Dang took 5 states, Shandong Klig took 2, and Qing have been annexed. And here we go. Swedish Riksdag elections. The election campaign of 1936 has been dominated by underhanded tactics, stirred up emotions and thinly veiled threats. At this point, the only certainty is that whoever will stand victorious after the election will need to cooperate with others to secure a majority. If the Social Democrats stand to be victorious, they could follow through with their threat to cooperate with the SVV. A serious trouble is to be expected. If the Conservatives win instead, Bagge will secure his position with the carry of Lindman's legacy, but doubt will undoubtedly be sowed with the legitimacy of this election by the disgruntled Socialists. So, I have a feeling this is actually a slightly different event than last time. And I've again forgotten how to do question mark on a Swedish keyboard. So the SAP triumphs. Or the AV is on tops. The SAP is the Social Democrats, whereas the AV are the Social Conservatives. SAP has a chance of working with the Radical Socialists, whereas the AV is working with the Market Liberals. Get your votes in. Vote, vote, vote. What do you think we should do? Last time there was the Volkspartiet in it as well. Yes, there was. So having the Volkspartiet coming in to help the AV actually relegated them from actually voting, from actually securing an election win. Get your votes in. Vote, vote, vote. This is going to be pretty important for the rest of this playthrough. Get your votes in. Vote, vote, vote. Vote, vote, vote. Okay, the votes are in, and Commander Faceless contributed 3,000 channel points. Thank you very much for that. 31% supported the SAP. However, 69% of you voted for the AV. So the AV remains on top. Social Conservatives goes up 5%. Political instability goes away. Stability will then start to rise quite dramatically. And the party popularity also rises. This is still a really divided state, though. Last time I think we actually united things really quite strongly behind the Social Democrats. Kumal Khanate declared war on the Xinjiang clique. Huzzah! Cabinet Bag II. Many thought Gosta Bag incapable of maintaining the legacy of his predecessor Arvid Lindman, but they were proven wrong. Once more, the General Electoral League triumphed at the polls, trumping the Social Democratic SAP. Despite our glorious but successful defence of our plurality, we have not been able to secure an outright majority, and thus the Riksdag is hung. If we are to form a government, we'll need to cooperate with one of the other parties. Either we could continue the Bhagwan cabinet by continuing our cooperation with the Liberal Volkspartiet, with whom we can find strong agreement on economic matters, or we could agree to form a coalition with the agrarian Bundesverbundet, which might be a better match for the social aspect of governance. Who are the agrarians? Volkspartiet is these guys, that's market liberal. Agrarian government. Oh, social liberal. That's these guys. Aha. Both of them roughly the same size. Neither of them would actually give an outright majority. It'd still be below 50%. So, what do we think? Market liberals or social liberal? We're going for a very liberal leaning here, regardless. So, financially liberal or socially liberal? Which is an interesting distinction because they are very different. As I may have mentioned once or twice before. So this is social liberal versus market liberal. And here we go. Get your votes in. Vote, vote, vote. Social liberals or market liberals? Horned Panda, thank you very much for the 55 months resubscription. Very much appreciate that. Thank you. Woohoo! Caught a new stream. Yes, you did. And actually, this gives me a very good opportunity to just go and double check my notifications, see if there's anything else I missed. And yes, there are. Okaya coming in with a 22-month Prime resub. Thank you very much for that. Mizit with a 20-month Prime resub as well. And fairly sure I caught the others. In fact, I may well have caught one of those as well. I just can't remember. Let's have a drink.